These pearls of wisdom are brought to you by Carl Johnson and members of the Oyster Bay Church of Christ, located at 1044 Shadeville Road, which is 4 miles east of Crawfordville, Florida. Bad karma. The word karma is an ancient Indian word meaning action. It is a concept that nearly all religious, philosophical, and scientific disciplines accept, that justice governs the universe. Each religious or philosophical theory may differ on the details, such as who delivers the justice or what to call it, but they all appear to agree with the idea of karma. Karma says every action has consequences. The theory is that positive action gets positive results and negative actions have negative consequences. Another popular expression is, what goes around comes around. These common proverbs came from God's law of agriculture. In Genesis 1:11, God explained that there would be planting and harvest seasons. Paul applies this law to our spiritual lives, saying, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap." In Galatians 6, verse 7. He explains that every time we think, feel, and exercise our wills, we are sowing. Eventually, we will reap a harvest of things we've planted. We kid ourselves when we think our words, thoughts, and actions end when we do or say them. In the book of Genesis, Jacob and his mother deceived his father into giving him the blessings of the firstborn. That blessing rightfully belonged to his older brother Esau. Later, Jacob reaped what he'd sown when he was tricked into marrying the older, less attractive sister instead of the woman he wanted. Jacob tricked and was tricked. In 2 Samuel, David has a man killed so that he may take his wife for himself. Later, David reaped what he had sown when his own family was ravaged by rape and murder among his own children. What goes around comes around. In 1 Kings, King Ahab and his wicked wife Jezebel killed their neighbor Naboth to acquire his vineyard. Later, Ahab is killed, and the dogs licked his blood from the same ground that they licked Naboth's. Ahab got what he deserved. The wonderful thing about the concept of sowing and reaping is that when we sow to the Spirit by doing what is right before God, we reap the fruit of the Spirit in this life and life everlasting in heaven. Understanding this, we can see why God commanded us not to take revenge on people who have sinned against us. He assured us that the seeds they planted will come back to them. If we set out for revenge on those that wrong us, we are also planting bad seeds that will come back to us. Instead of seeking revenge, we should be practicing turning the other cheek and learning to love our enemies as we read in Matthew 5:38 and 44. Karma says the energy you send out, good or bad, eventually comes back to you. This idea is just an affirmation of God's unchanging law that we will reap what we sow. If you enjoyed today's Pearls of Wisdom and would like to hear more, just go to our website, oysterbaychurchofchrist.org, or visit us in person at 1044 Shadeville Road. Our worship services are at 10 a.m. Sunday morning and 1:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon.